Michael Jackson was one of the greatest entertainers that ever lived. It's really sad to see that his life ended really short, right before his comeback. But to know more about Michael, you have to start all the way from his childhood. Michael Joseph Jackson was born August 29th, 1958, to Catherine Joe Jackson, Gary, Indiana. He lived in a two-bedroom house along with his 10 other siblings. As a little kid, Michael loved music from the beginning. It is quoted by his mother that when he was 3 years old, he would watch TV and watch Jackie Wilson, James Brown, Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross, and just copy them. Like, those were his musical influences. By the time he was about 5, his brothers were already a band. They were called the Jackson Brothers. Michael wanted to join, but his father wouldn't allow him because he was too young. His mother eventually had to convince his father that he had talent. So his father gave him a chance. He sung and danced right in front of him. His father liked what he saw, and he was now part of the group, which was now known as the Jackson 5. Michael's childhood, it was different. Most children, they outside, having friends, playing with them, going to school, just enjoy being a kid. Michael didn't really have the luxury of doing that. While all the kids was outside, playing recess and, communicating with each other, he was in the house rehearsing and being in the studio recording songs or going on tour. For a kid, that's kind of hard because, you want to do those things, but you can't. And so Michael, he was really emotional about that. He kind of wished that he could enjoy being a kid, but he understood what his job was. In 1972, when Michael was merely 14 years old, his first album was released, Got to Be There. Got to Be There was actually a hit-selling record. It had singles like Got to Be There, ABC, I Want You Back, Stop the Love You Say May Not Be Your All. It was at that moment people realized that Michael was the new sensation. After Got to Be There, he had about 2 or 3 more albums. Music in Me, Ben, Forever Michael. Those did really well. But that came to a screeching halt during the mid-70s when Michael was becoming a young adult. See, people at that time just knew Michael was this cute little kid who could really sing. Well, puberty hit. And people started talking about him, saying, he has pimples now, and he looks ugly, he doesn't look the same. That really affected Michael. It affected to the point where he changed his whole image. So right before 1980, he had his first nose job, and this was the first of many. Let's skip a few years. 1981 came, and he released an album called Off the Wall. Off the Wall was his first pure solo project. Like, he didn't have his brothers doing the background. Everything was on him. Off the Wall did great. People saw potential in little Michael. They thought, oh, okay, maybe he can be somebody. His fame came to a screeching halt again because of a Pepsi commercial incident. Him and his brothers doing this Pepsi commercial, and they was walking down the stage, and pyrotechnics hit. Psh. Well, one the sparks from pyrotechnics fell on his head, and his hair caught on fire. He suffered second-degree burns and had to get a few skin grafts. He wasn't really seen in the public again until 1983, when Thriller was released. Thriller is possibly one of the best albums ever made. This album has sold over 82 billion records worldwide. Wait, is that right? It's something like that. It has sold a lot. Thriller was so inspiring and captivating for its time. Especially the music video that came with the #1 hit single of Thriller. That music video was one of the most expensive music videos ever made. It was like a mini movie. You know, back in the 80s, nothing was seen like that. So because of Thriller, Michael Jackson's popularity rose again. But during this time, some more changes to him started. He found out that he suffered with the skin condition vitiligo. For those of you who don't know, vitiligo causes your skin pigment to lose and your skin become lighter. So people didn't really know about that, so they thought that Michael had skin bleaching. That wasn't the case. He had a vitiligo and he would use makeup to cover all the blemishes. So for about the next 10 years, he became the international pop star. He was labeled as the king of pop. He had hot albums, Bad, Dangerous, and History. Michael was a music legend. People loved him everywhere. People would go to his concerts and they would pass out just at the sight of him. I would say that his music inspired a whole generation. Between that time, though, more trouble started. It was rumored that Michael was accused of child molestation. First incident happened in 1993. They gave him a trial. He was acquitted with no evidence. That died down, but his popularity remained steady. He was off of the limelight till 2001 when he decided to make one more album. This was his last album of a career, named Invincible. Compared to other albums, it didn't really sell well due to conflicts with Sony and how it was advertised. After that, the same child accusations came back again in 2003. And it was to the point where people started believing it because they was like, why would Michael keep on being accused of touching these little boys and stuff? Like, they didn't believe it. But he finally cleared his name. In 2005, Michael was found not guilty of all charges and was a free man. So at this point, Michael was living his life. You know, nobody didn't hear about him. You know, we just heard all his old music and we loved it. We as people, we loved the music no matter what. Somewhere in 2009, he made a special music conference about one last tour named This Is It. This Is It was gonna be his last tour ever. Like, this was gonna be his retirement tour. The whole summer he spent preparing for it. It was gonna be in London. It was gonna be special. But sadly, on June 25th, 2009, tragedy hit. On June 25th, 2009, Michael Jackson was found dead from an apparent drug overdose. What's really sad is he was gonna go get ready for the concert the day after. Michael left us too early. His music will forever be in our hearts. His music just inspired everybody. Me personally, he was one of the greatest musicians I ever seen. He's actually one of my best musical influences. The tour This Is It was one of the greatest tours that never happened. It was so great that he even released a film about the behind the scenes work that was done to it. So in conclusion, I'll say this. Michael Jackson was a living legend. It's sad that he had to leave us so early. But his music will live on for many years and many generations to come. I just wish the future generation will know about him more than we did. So, with that being said, I am Kamante Glover, and this was just a 10-minute brief story about the life, the fame, and the sudden tragedy of Michael Joseph Jackson. August 1958 to June 2009. He died at the somewhat young age of 50. Rest in peace to him. Adios.